Battle of the Belts 10, April 14th, 2024, from Highland Heights, Kentucky. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I was expecting really big things here on Battle of the Belts. Shame on me for doing that. However, I kind of wish at the end here, I'll talk a little bit about how I would have booked this, but ultimately, you expect big things from AEW on this. Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, Nigel McGuinness on the call tonight with it. But we do get a main event with the Ring of Honor Championship, which just felt a little bit like a lead-in to another match. So let's go ahead, let's talk about it here on Tap Out Talk. Let's get in. So first up we have the FTW Championship, and that is Hook entering with the record of 32-3, going against Shane Taylor out of Ohio, and he's just making his Battle of the Belts debut. And I was kind of like struggling a little bit to find out who or what this was going to be about here, but referee Paul Turner joins the fray, and then Hook takes on immediately the fight to Taylor to the outside of the ring, gets caught up with punches, making his way back inside. I did like the concept of Hook going up against a big man in this matchup, and I know we just got that recently a little bit with Samoa Joe, but we do want to show that, you know, Hook is a strong fighter that's able to overcome these bigger guys. So Hook comes back with gut punches, but Shane takes him down with a brutal liver shot going into the commercial break. Hook is being annihilated in the corner with more body blows, just being dominated by the big man Taylor. But Hook refuses to give up for that FTW championship. Taylor says he better quit or he'll send Hook back to his dad in a body bag. Kind of like that concept. I kind of like that idea of Taylor really playing it up, and it did get a reaction from the crowd. Hook finally gets back into it with a series of strikes, then hits Taylor with a German suplex. He follows up with another suplex for a 1 and a 2. Hook gets crushed on the mat, but won't stay down for a 1, a 2, almost. But then Taylor misses a swing. Hook locks in the red rum. Taylor rams Hook back first into the buckle, and he refuses to let go. They go down to the mat, and the hold is going on for a while, and then ultimately Hook hits the hold again and wins by referee stoppage. So Hook defends the FTW championship. And they were mentioning on the call, very good job calling, telling about the FTW rules and how it could go anywhere around the arena. It wasn't your traditional championship matchup. Not a bad match. It did its job. It didn't overstay its welcome. And then we get an interview backstage after this with Rocky Romero, kind of setting up his matchup, and talks a little bit about, you know, going against Roderick Strong, which is on our next matchup for the International Championship, and it's an eliminator match. So we got Roderick Strong entering with a 9-0, and then we got Rocky Romero entering with his Battle of the Belts debut. All right, so referee Rich Knox on this one, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Wardlow, pretty much the whole kingdom minus Adam Cole, baby, basically joins into this matchup. Romero is just by himself on this one. They chop each other, but Strong stuns Rocky back with a hammering blow across the back. Romero fires back with kicks to the corner, and he sends a Strong to the outside, and then crashes down on him with a double stomp from the ring apron, going into the commercial break. Coming back, Romero dives into Taven after the break, and he hits the sliced bread for a 1 and a 2. I'll be honest with you, so far this matchup didn't do really much for me on Battle of the Belts. I know we were trying to push the Kingdom, but I felt like the Kingdom just kind of lost its way a little bit. And I feel like that some of that is without having Adam Cole around. And I feel like they're really trying to build everything around Roderick Strong now, holding the bag, so to speak. Kyle, basically at this point then, Romero hits an avalanche sliced bread for a near fall. And then Roderick suddenly catches Rocky with a rising knee out of the midair for the 1, the 2, and a 3. Kyle O'Reilly comes out to congratulate Strong and then checks on Romero after the match, making sure he's okay. And he lifts up Romero, and then Wardlow destroys Rocky with a lariat, and the Undisputed Kingdom then set their sights on Kyle O'Reilly, setting up their matchup at AEW Dynasty. Takes him out too at this point. And then Strong talks trash at Kyle O'Reilly and says that he warned him about this. Alright, so this was basically used to set up a match at the pay-per-view. Fair enough, but I just didn't feel like this match, which should have been a Battle of the Belts 10, matchup that should have been just on this card to make it feel like special and a big deal. Serena Deeb is interviewed backstage. She talks about how she's undefeated, but yes, she's number 3 in the rankings, and she's climbing her way up. And she invites Yuka Sakazaki into her dojo so she can see how good Yuka is to prove she's even better. Just want to say thank you guys. Hit that like button if you like wrestling. But let's go ahead and move on to Battle of the Belts main event here. So then with this point, we've got Athena, the champion, versus Red Velvet. I constantly wonder if Red Velvet is a cousin of, I don't know, one of the other Velvets. Velvet's Sky, right? So ultimately, Red Velvet, and she comes out. She's got a record of 4-1 in Ring of Honor. And then we got Athena coming out with a record of 49-0, and you can definitely tell it's a severe mismatch in this main event. Mike Posey's going to be the referee here. Early in the match, Shivani announces it will be Roderick Strong, Kyle Riley in an international title match at Dynasty. Great, we're interrupting the main event. But later in the match, Athena sends Velvet face first into the middle buckle. She picks her up by the shoulders, and Red flips her over for a pin attempt. Athena goes up, but Velvet catches her with a kick. Velvet then sends her crashing down to the mat. This matchup's going a little bit back and forth. They go to the floor. Athena then grabs Red by the hair and swings her into the LED boards. Athena gets back in the ring and hits the O-face for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and the win. So ultimately, Athena is now 50-0 in Ring of Honor. Billy Stark celebrates in the ring with her. They taunt Red Velvet, so she slaps them in the face. Then they beat her up, which brings out Queen Aminata for the save. And Aminata takes out both Starks and Athena as Battle of the Belts goes off the air. So this obviously was being used to set up a little bit of a bigger match, much like the Roderick Strong match, to set up the next major feud for Athena. And while that's all well and good, I just didn't feel like Battle of the Belts 10, this was going to be like the main event worthy for that kind of landmark Battle of the Belts. But let's take that into our final thoughts. And here they are. Our final thoughts ultimately. I feel like we could do better with these Battle of the Belts to make them feel special. Right now, they are just kind of the glorified dark matches with title belts or the WWF superstars, where sometimes they go against lesser known talent that we don't even really know that well, or even the casual audience would know. So ultimately, if you guys remember on October 28th of 2023, we got a championship match on Collision with MJF defending against Kenny Omega in one of the best Collision matches of all time. I would say it's the greatest match that Collision ever put on. But ultimately, that matchup felt big, it felt special, and it was just on a random episode of Collision. That should, in my mind, been a Battle of the Belts worthy match. That would have been a reason for people to stay in the audience. They really had to darken the arena to really make the crowd look like there was a lot of people there at Battle of the Belts 10. So I felt like Omega versus MJF would have been like a Battle of the Belts or a Battle of the Belts worthy type matchup, even at 10 if they would have stretched it to there. While that would be possible in today's current roster. But ultimately, I do feel like the AEW could do a little bit better with building these feuds up maybe to fight at Battle of the Belts and make them feel like a Saturday night's main event, or at least a mini pay-per-view, if you will. Well, guys, those are my results and my overall thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. And I just want to say thanks again, guys. I'm getting out of here. Like, share, subscribe. It's not goodbye. It's game over.